Before that, real quick, you said that the current modern, no longer ancient methods of food processing is all risk, no benefits. Can you share a few more examples of that?
Yes, thank you. So, for example, these so-called vegetable oils that we are told are good for us and that we should use instead of animal fats. The vegetable oils, these are things like soybean oil and canola oil and sunflower oil and corn oil. All of these oils, which were really virtually non-existent in our food supply over 100 years ago, these are extremely new ingredients in our diets. These vegetable oils would not be possible without modern machinery. And I actually show people exactly how they could try to make vegetable oil in their own homes using only 15 chemical steps, one of which includes an explosive molecule called hexane. And so there's nothing natural about these oils. Essentially, what you've done is you've taken seeds. These are seed oils. Let's say you've taken a seed such as cottonseed, or you've taken a seed such as soybeans are also seeds. They're just seeds of legumes. All of these are seeds. And you're trying to extract the oil from that seed. There's no way that you could extract and concentrate the oil from those seeds yourself at home in your own kitchen, no matter how hard you squeeze that seed. You're not going to get the oil out of it. So you must turn to industrial oil refineries. And these look exactly like any kind of the oil refineries that we use to refine petroleum. They're huge industrial buildings with smokestacks and the like. And you need solvents to be able to dissolve away all of the other natural things that are in those seeds, such as the fiber and the protein and all of the structural elements of the seed. And so then you've gone through these 15 chemical and high pressure and high heat steps to concentrate that oil. And then you put it in a bottle and you call it all natural, heart healthy, plant-based cooking oil. Is it all natural? Well, it comes from a natural source ultimately, but there's the method to refine it is anything but. And is it plant-based? Absolutely. It came from seeds. Is it heart healthy? I would argue with that. And so is it vegetable oil? Well, it comes from seeds. So I guess, in a certain sense, yes. But when you think about it, it's a highly industrially refined product that is extremely high in a particular type of omega-6 fatty acid, a polyunsaturated fatty acid called linoleic acid. And yes, linoleic acid exists in small amounts naturally in whole foods like seeds and nuts. And so we were naturally designed to, or evolved anyway, to a small amount of it on a regular basis. We never evolved, and we were never designed, our systems were never designed to handle our pouring this concentrated oil, very high in linoleic acid, on top of all of our foods and cooking with it and putting in mayonnaise and salad dressings and stir fries and muffins and cakes and cookies and frying chips in them and frying French fries in them. And so this is an example of something that does ultimately come from a whole food, but the word whole no longer applies. You could say for refined carbohydrates as well. So it's very important to understand how these concentrated molecules behave in the human body, because even though they come from a whole food, they no longer behave like food in the body. And so this is one of the many things that I'm trying to help people understand in the book.
Again, this talks about the difficulty parsing through information. Since you just alluded to it, they're technically not lying. And of course, it's legality. You can't really sue them for false advertising.
Right.
Because there's little ounces of truth. It is plant-based.
Yes.
It is vegetable.
Yes.
But they take away the 14 added layers on top of the source of food. So by the time you get it, it's larger than the sum of its parts in a very negative way.
Exactly. And so many processed foods are like this, where the label will tell you what's not in something. Without telling you what's actually in it. So what is it? You're telling me what it's not. So it doesn't contain any animal fats. It has no cholesterol, that sort of thing. Okay, but what does it have in it? And what is it? And why is it good for me? Do I need it at all? Is it something I need to have? Does it taste good? Does it smell good? Most vegetable oils, all vegetable oils, unless they're, sort of cold pressed nut oils or extra virgin olive oil, any fats that come from plants aren't always refined like this. It's the seed oils that get refined like this, because you can get oil out of an olive, you can get oil out of an avocado, you can get oil out of a palm fruit or even a coconut without a refinery. But you cannot get oil out of seeds without a refinery. And so they go through these deodorizing steps and these extraction steps, that use chemical solvents and very high heat processing. What comes out is nothing that we were ever intended to consume. So yes, these are half truths. So they tell you half of what you need to know without telling you the things that you really need to know. What are these oils doing to our brains and bodies? And this is what I do try to explain in the book is the dangers so that people can know. I mean, I'm nutritionally pro-choice. I want people to be able to eat a diet that they personally feel comfortable with. I have no interest in controlling what people eat. I'm a psychiatrist. I like, as you were saying before we came on, I like to give people choices, right? But I want those choices to be informed choices. And if you have all the right information, you can decide how you want to eat. I just want you to know what the pros and cons are of the choices that you're making so that you can decide what's most important to you.
And to even go a little bit deeper, not just informed choices, informed by accurate information of choices.
Exactly.
Since the Harvard students you alluded to, the Smith students, they were making what they thought as informed choices.
Yes.
But in reality, they weren't. And it's not their fault.
Absolutely not their fault. I mean, most people, so, most students, most college students, I have to say, most of them aren't old enough yet to be driven primarily by health concerns. Most of them haven't faced, any medical crises yet in their own lives. And, young people kind of naturally feel kind of invincible. And, why should I need to worry about that? I'll worry about that in, 20, 30 years. That's all normal and natural. So most of the students who came to see me, although they were suffering with mental health problems, that's why they were coming to see me. They weren't worried about their physical health and they weren't worried about their future mental health. They were just worried about what was going on for them in the moment, right? And of course, that's the way it should when you're in your early 20s. But, they weren't motivated by health primarily. Most young people are really, and with very good reason, concerned about the environment. They're concerned about the environment. They're concerned about air pollution, water pollution, land pollution, resource utilization. They're concerned about, the future of our planet. And they're concerned about animal welfare as well. They should be. So these are all really, really important concerns. Trying to help people understand. And they were often very well informed about the topics that they cared most about. Even adults in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s who are very well informed on nutrition and are very motivated to understand the relationship between nutrition and health. And they will say to me, I follow science very closely and I know everything I need to know about nutrition. And that's why I eat this particular way. And the reason I wrote this book is because I understand that people are doing their best to follow the science, but there are two kinds of science. There's science that's based in the scientific method, which is data and experimentation. And there's science that's based in guesswork and theories, untested theories. And that's the majority, unfortunately, of nutrition, quote, science comes from these wholly unscientific methods. And of course, most people don't know that. How could they possibly know that? It takes a long time to dig in and understand what's really going on with nutrition science and why it seems so complicated on the surface and why the rules seem to be constantly changing. The reason for that is because there's no science behind those recommendations. And so these theories are kind of twisting in the wind. One day eggs are good for you. The next day eggs are bad for you. The third day eggs are good for you again. Well, if you look at the science, there's no question that eggs are good for you. When you look at the untested theories and the guesswork, the questionnaire-based guesswork that most nutrition science headlines and guidelines are based on, then you're going to flip-flop because there is no there. There is no biology or even common sense or logic behind that methodology.